This is Abë Finance here. Today we're going to take a look at our total dividend income since we started our portfolio up in 2015. So the Robinhood app is a very easy to use app. The first thing I do to start to look at my dividend history is just hit the little man icon in the top left. And then we go to history. And as you can see, upcoming, we have a dividend that'll be paid out by Nike on April 3rd. So we're going to be getting paid about $5.40 from Nike in a couple weeks, which is pretty exciting. But something that is more interesting to look at is dividends, all history. So I just filtered the entire history of my Robinhood app into dividends that I've been paid out. So from December 28th, 2015, is when I started collecting dividends for the first time, all the way up to as recent as just 2 days ago on March 10th. I've been receiving positive cash flows from a lot of my investments in the stock market. So as you can see, up until about December 15th of 2016, when we first got paid by Coca-Cola, we had only been getting paid by VOO, which is the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF, which I've talked about a lot of times now, and also this other investment, REM, which is actually a collection of mortgage-backed securities which caused the 2008-2009 financial crisis. And I've actually since sold this investment because I'm not really a fan of how risky it is. The main reason why we had invested in the REM in the first place, this mortgage-capped index fund, we invested in them because they were providing about 10% dividend yield, which is really high in comparison to about 2% for the S&P. But it's a little bit too risky, and there's not really any long-term value coming out of the mortgage-backed securities. They're not producing anything. But then we actually started to diversify into individual stocks here in December of 2016. And Coca-Cola has paid increasing dividends for almost 100 years now, so we're pretty confident that Coca-Cola will continue to pay us dividends in the future. And actually, since they paid us on December 15th, 35 cents per share, they've actually upped their dividend to 37 cents per share. So our strategy is already beginning to work. You know, we're buying a company today that already pays dividends, and in the future, we're hoping that they will continue to raise their dividends as they have in the past. And Coca-Cola has already gone on to do so. So we're buying a certain amount of income today, and with hopes of that income increasing in the future. Yeah, so now one other thing that I thought might be interesting for you guys to see in our dividend income here from our Robinhood app, I actually went through and entered in all that data that you guys were just looking at in my Robinhood screen, and I recorded all the dividend payments I've received throughout my couple years here of using the Robinhood app. I guess it's really more like a year and 3 months since I've started receiving dividends. So yeah, I've already accumulated over $104 of basically cash profit in terms of dividends. Those $104.76 in Robinhood, they're deposited directly to my buying power. So that means I could either withdraw that $104 and use it as spending money in my regular daily life, or, as I did, I kept it in my Robinhood account and actually continued to buy more dividend-producing companies, so in the future I'll be receiving a higher income. And actually, another thing that's a little bit interesting here that isn't exactly clearly displayed from this data is that the majority of this dividend income, the majority of this $104, was actually all generated from just about a $2,000, maybe $3,000 on average investment. And since then, I've actually I've multiplied the amount of my portfolio by 6 just by increasing the amount of deposits I've been making and how many companies I've been buying. So for the upcoming year, we're actually projected to make a lot more, like $800 worth of dividend income. And if you guys are interested in seeing how that breaks out, how we're probably projected to produce about $800 of income this year in 2017, we could run through that with you if you're interested. So thanks for checking this video out, and please subscribe if you liked what you see. This is Abë Finance signing off.